Okay, HadesOmega here. Today is October 2nd, 2018, and I'm finally going to take the Victory Empulse TT to a shop to get the suspension adjusted. So I'm not messed around with the suspension on this bike ever since I got it. I felt it's fine, you know, but maybe it could be better. I'm not sure, but so I'm gonna go put all my my gear on, all my track gear on, and we're gonna have the suspension adjusted, basically just the sag, I guess, and we'll keep the trunk on there too. But obviously, when I'm on a track, I'm gonna take this off if I ever get back on track with this guy. So this bike, the Empulse TT, has some very nice suspension. I think I went over it when I made the first video when I bought this bike, but I'll go over it again. So it's got Marzocchi forks and a Sachs rear shock for the suspension, the shock stuff. The front suspension has adjustable rebound and compression, I believe. Yes, compression. It's compression on one, and then rebound on the other. There is an upgrade fork for this bike, but this one is not the one. I think the upgrade fork has a little adjuster right here where this little thingamajigger is. And then it does have a preload adjuster right here, like a fine-tuning adjuster. I guess I'm not sure. I don't know if you can put a spacer on this. That's a good question. I have not messed around with this suspension at all, so I don't really know. I don't really know the inner workings of it, but it does have a preload adjuster right here. And then the rear shock has adjustable preload with the collar there, which is in like the most horrible place. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but hopefully I'll let them figure it out. But anyway, the collar is right behind that little bar, that subframe bar right there. So and then there's an adjuster right here for, I believe, compression. It says soft and hard, and then there's one there on the reservoir. So I don't know what the one on the reservoir. Okay, so the manual in page 93 has the suspension setup stuff. It looks like 2 is the compression damping, the one that's on the reservoir, and then 1 is the preload adjuster. So what is the other? There's one on the actual shock, number 3. So rebound. So the one on the shock is the rebound, and the one on the reservoir is compression. And then yeah, so it even tells you what the factory settings are. So you would probably turn it all the way counterclockwise, and then you could turn it 18 clicks clockwise. And then this tells you how to do the sag and all that. So it's a very good suspension. I will take the manual with me just in case he wants to look at it. Oh, so put that in there. My wallet. I'm gonna be wearing my race suit, so I can't really bring much stuff with me. Alright, HadesOmega here. I got all my gear on. I don't normally go riding on the street with all my track gear on, but I will today. Sometimes I do. All the gear all the time. So just in case you're wondering, since we're doing the weight on the we're doing the suspension adjustments on the Empulse, the rider weight with the gear is a very important part of the whole dealie. So if you want to know how much HadesOmega weighs with all this on, there I am. Plus my camera, I guess. I'm about 190 with my gear. So I'll tell you, I didn't check how much I am without my gear, but I think I didn't eat anything this morning, but I'm normally 175, so about my gear weighs about a good 15 pounds. So yeah, there it is. Hope, all right, Alright, HadesOmega here. I'm here at the Trimble Road exit in Santa Clara-ish. And we're heading to Evolution Motorcycles. Whoa, a little bumpy there on that corner. I felt the front like kind of dip a little bit. But yeah, so actually Evolution Motorcycles is not very far from where I live. It's a couple exits on the freeway and they're there. So, and Rob, the owner, is going to be closing his shop this year. He's retiring, so I'm gonna give him some business. They're kind of one of my go-to motorcycle shops. So I'm just gonna give a little plug for him. And hopefully they can get the suspension adjusted on this guy. All right, here's a go. All right, here we are. Alright, here's we go. Alright, HadesOmega here, and we're here at Evolution Motorcycles. They just got done adjusting the suspension of my buddy here, the Empulse TT. And I think I'm going to go take it for a ride. Yeah, we'll go take it for a ride in the, on Sierra or something. A local mountain pass, so. Alright, so yeah, so I will try to just give you the rundown of what happened. I didn't videotape any of it. I did get a picture of them adjusting the preload. So, like you saw earlier, I am 107. I weigh 175 pounds. I didn't weigh myself without my gear on, but I know I'm around 175, and I was like 190 with my gear on. So yeah, that's my rider weight for the Empulse, and then with my track gear. So my Empulse is a little bit different than a stock Empulse because it has a big, heavy, beefy rack in the back with the trunk on top. So the trunk adds maybe about, well, I don't remember. I'll have to look at the video. I'll put a subtitle below, but I think it was somewhere between like 5 or like 15 pounds, you know. It's a big difference in weight, but oh yeah, they got some like motorcycle thing going on here. Kind of want to check them out. Alright, sorry, I got sidetracked by watching the police here practice on their motorbikes. Alright, here we go. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about the suspension adjustment. I hope I remember now. I got kind of like I kind of got mesmerized by watching them do their Gymkhana thing. But anyway, so what Rob had found out when he checked the suspension is that there they are. The Empulse is whatchamacallit, the front is too stiff on the Empulse, is what he said. It's too stiff. The stock suspension setup is too stiff for my rider weight. For the front, we needed. He softened it up all the way. I don't think he adjusted the preload at all. Man, what the hell? The preload is fine. The preload is okay on the front, so he didn't adjust it at all. But the dampening is too stiff, so we needed to oh man, splitting lanes, man. That's what I like about the big trucks. You can go underneath the mirrors.
But he said, yeah, the front is too stiff, and he softened it up all the way, and he said it's still too stiff. He said it's racetrack stiff. That's what he said. So he asked me like, hey, the suspension is too. Do you find the suspension a little too stiff? I'm like, yeah, it's kind of stiff. I thought that's the way it's supposed to be. Apparently not. You want the suspension to move kind of easily. Alright, here we go, on the freeway. Yeah, so, yeah, you want the suspension to move kind of easily. And so he made it softer, basically. And then he said, basically he bounced the front of the bike up and down a couple times. And he bounced the front of the bike up and down a couple times, and then that's how he's able to tell, hey, it's too, I mean, he's probably just done suspension adjustments like for a long time, so he kind of knows what's up, you know, with the suspension. But he did measure the sag in the front, and he said like, you don't need to adjust the preload. It's fine the way it is. So I was like, okay. And but he needed to make the compression or the dampening full soft. So yeah, he adjusted it full soft, and he said it was still too stiff. It was not. It was too much dampening, is what he said. He said like, yeah, that's the best we can do with these settings. So he softened it up all the way. And for the rear is a different story. The rear he had to, he put it up, the suspension fully unloaded. He put it up on the side stand. He he pushed it up on the side stand so that he can get the weight off the rear wheel. And then he checked that adjustment, that measurement, and then what happened? And then he had me get on the bike, and then he checked the sag, and apparently we needed to, for my rider weight, you need to increase the preload. You have to increase the preload a bit, and I was wondering how he's going to do it. It's pretty amazing watching him work, man, because I don't really work on the suspension. I'm not really a suspension guru, you know. Basically, he took a punch, and he punched the locking collar loose, and then he just rotated the spring, and then that was by rotating the spring, he was able to move the bottom collar, the collar that adjusts the preload. So. And he did that until he couldn't do that anymore. Then he had a helper help him, like, kind of tap it out. And then when he got enough, when the collar was adjusted enough, he used a wrench. He could use a wrench now. So because the collar, I'm telling you, in the stock configuration, the collar is right behind the freaking subframe thingamajigger. So I don't really notice much of a difference right now. Actually, the bike does. He said the bike should turn better. But anyway, getting on with the adjustments, he increased the preload quite a bit. I'm assuming it's probably because it's not because of, well, yeah, it's because of me, obviously, because I'm the rider. But the trunk and the rack weighs quite a bit. So I had it adjusted with the trunk on there because I probably ride it with the trunk most of the time, so that's okay. And then I think he made the rear. I think he made the rear softer. Is what he did. No one's supposed to do that, but oh well, whatever. You're not supposed to get in the bike lane. Anyway, yeah, I think he made the rear softer also. The suspension is like, it's too stiff on the Impulse, is what he said. So I was like, okay, well that's cool. I agree. It's pretty stiff. So he said the bike should turn better now, is what he said. So we're gonna go take it to Sierra Road, and we're gonna actually try it out, and then I'll let you know what I think. I think I got enough charge for that, so we'll just go up there, and then we'll probably just go back down. And we'll be done for today. The bike does feel a little lighter, like it wants to go around the corner better. So yeah, he increased the preload in the back because I have all this extra weight in the back, and then he checked the and then he adjusted the dampening by bouncing the back of the bike up and down a bunch of times, and then he's like, okay, I think I need to loosen it. So what I'll probably do is I will, at the end of the video, I will put all the adjustments that I will put all the dampening adjustments. I'll try to copy them, and just in case you got an Impulse and you weigh about my weight and you got a trunk in the back, you may want to adjust it. It cost me $40 for him to do that, for like, I don't know, like 15 minutes of work. Not a bad gig, if you ask me, man. I know some bikes are, the suspension is a bitch to adjust. It's like the shock is like all hidden and everything, but the Impulse actually isn't too bad. It's just right there on the side, so there's no linkage or anything. So, so to recap, the preload is fine in the front. The preload is not fine in the back. He needed to increase it because of all the extra weight, and then he gave me some like kind of he gave me some info on some stuff and about the handling of the bike. What else? He said the suspension is similar to a Kawasaki Versys or a Ninja 650, actually. So I asked him like, hey, what other bikes have suspension that's similar to this? And he's like, yeah, Kawasaki Versys, I guess. So that's cool. Just FYI, I believe he's right. I've seen the shock on the Versys, and it is like that. What else? Yeah. So and then he made pretty much all the dampening softer. He said that it's too stiff. It's not reacting fast enough. So yeah. So he said the bike should turn in better now. So cool deal. So we're gonna go to Sierra Road and we're gonna go test it out right now. That will be a separate video on what I think. Check that out. I'll put that at the end of the link at the end of this video, and the suspension adjustments for the rear shock, pretty much. I'll probably put the front, but I can tell you now the front is full soft. Full soft. All right. HadesOmegaSpec. Oh, okay. Also, I wanted to note that the tire pressures. He said 36, 38, 36 front, 38 in the rear is a good tire pressure for this bike. Those are the tire pressures he recommended for me, so that's the ones I'm going to use from now on. So I had it 42, 42, like the sticker says on the front, and I checked the manual. The Impulse manual actually tells you to put it at 38, 42. So he pretty much made everything softer on this bike, and you know, I agree with him. It's too stiff. At 42, 42, it's too stiff. I don't like it at all. So, it's really spine jarring riding this bike with the tire pressure at 42, 42. It feels like it doesn't soak up any of the bumps at all, you know. I think like, yeah, somewhere around 38 would have been good, but he recommended 36 in the front and 38, and he actually said it for me, so cool deal, man. So I'm gonna go take it out for a little run on Sierra right now and tell you what I think. Just riding around the streets just now, I can tell you it feels okay. The bike actually, wow, yeah, the bike feels lighter and it feels like it wants to turn better. I'm kind of doing some weaving right now, and wow, holy crap! Boy, does that make a big difference. Just in the weaving alone, man. The cornering feels lighter. It feels lighter, so that's pretty amazing. I can't believe it. Just a quick suspension adjustment, and it kind of transformed the bike. So already a thumbs up on this one. All right, so we'll let you know when we get to the mountain road, and we'll see how it does. I will kind of do some kind of relaxed pace riding, and then maybe some more spirited riding, and then we'll go back home. All right, HadesOmegaSpec.